and we all know our five senses, right? Touch, smell, taste, and the other two. Welcome to 3 ways to be in the now. And stick around for a little silly at the end. So first of all, I wanted to say, why is this important? Does it matter? Yes, it does matter. So we don't want to live in the past. We don't want to live in the future. We want to live in the now. And this is my theory. My theory is the reason why people love scary movies, the reason why people love roller coasters, things like that, is it forces us to be in the now. We're so freaked out. When I am going up that roller coaster, I'm like, oh my God, why am I doing this? But I can't think about the past. I can't think about the future. I'm thinking about, oh my God, right? But it forces us to be in the here and now. And that's where we're fully alive. So the more we can put ourselves in the here and now, and a great book, oh my gosh, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, beautiful book. So check that out if you're interested. But the idea is in the now is where we're most fully alive, where we can be the most happiest. And future can be stressful, overwhelmed. Sometimes it's fun, hey, I have a vacation in a week. We can take a moment to think about that. But honestly, being in the now is where we truly live. Okay, tip 1, and this is something that I used to teach all of my acting students, but it's something that's super helpful for anybody. It's called a relaxation exercise, but it doesn't really relax you, put you to sleep. What it does is it really puts you in your body, releases tension, puts you in your body, so you feel your body right now. Which is what? Some people are I'm always in my body, I feel my body. It's kind of weird, but because our senses are so strong and taking in so much stimuli, our brain shuts most of it down so we can function. And so we go through the day a lot of the time not even noticing what our body is feeling. And that's why this is a true story. This is my masseuse told me this, is sometimes when you're sick, do you notice hey, during the day I didn't feel that sick, but at night and in the morning you're oh, I feel so much sicker at night in the morning. And it's because your body has shut down some of those senses and isn't noticing. It's not that you're not that sick, it's just that your body's kind of shut down. And those are good things. Those help us get through the day. But we do want to do these exercises to put ourselves back in our body. It helps us be healthier and it helps us be happier. So not all the time, but when you take a break, so the first thing I'd say is close your eyes just so you can get rid of the sort of stimuli out there. Put yourself so you can start noticing your body. The second we take away visual, it helps us put ourselves in our body. So after I close my eyes and kind of shut off the visual stimuli, the first thing I do is, hopefully you're sitting down, so if you're not, sit down. And I feel the chair underneath me. I feel the ground underneath my feet. I start to feel the clothes on my body. So the clothing on my chest or the hair on my skin. So it basically, you're going back in. Your body's already feeling this, but it's been shut off. So you're waking up your body and your sensations. It's just putting us here in the now physically. So you might start to notice some sore muscles or stuff going on in your body. So those aren't just starting right now. Those have been happening all day long and you just didn't feel it. So again, this kind of wakes us up to our health. Are there things we need to address? So take some deep breaths, continue to feel oh, this is one thing that I always do to really put me in the now is I feel my underwear. Because as soon as I say underwear, I'm oh, I feel my bra. Yeah, feel my underwear. So throughout the day I don't, but if I want an instant get back in my body, I'm yep, feel my bra. Okay, so I'm back in my body. So that's just a quick one. So you can do that. And then you want to start taking deep breaths. A lot of times throughout the day, again, we start we have shallow breaths. We're not taking in enough oxygen. Deep breaths, breathing in and out, taking the oxygen in. Again, we're just being in the now, but we're taking care of our body right now, so we don't forget it. Okay, so now we feel our body, we're in the now, and then what we do is a body scan. Again, my eyes should be closed, but I want to see you. So my eyes are closed, and I do a body scan, and I find one area that I think might be holding tension. And for me, that's generally my bowels or my stomach when I get stressed. So what I want to do is I want to focus my breath on that area, Every time I breathe in, I'm breathing in a little space, or what it really is you're kind of breathing space into those muscles that are tight. So you're relaxing them. You're just trying to breathe in a little space so they can separate a little bit, relax a little bit. Every time you breathe out, you're letting some of that tension go. You're not going to get rid of all of it, but the idea is like throughout the day, put yourself back into your body, breathe and release some of that tension. So you can do this for 5 minutes, you can do it for 2 minutes, you can do it for 10 minutes. It depends on how much time you have, but if you make like 2-minute breaks every hour, every 2 hours, put yourself back in your body, release some of this tension, you're gonna have a much happier body and you're gonna be much more in tune. So you're gonna notice when you're a little off or a little sick, or there's muscles and maybe you need to get a massage, or maybe you need to go to the doctor, like you're gonna be so much more in tune with your body so you can take care of yourself better. Tip number 2, the I feel exercise. Okay, this one's a little out there, maybe, but it works. It's really cool. So try it. All right, what you do is you start with tip number 1, you do the relaxation exercise just so you're really in your body and you're already connected to your body. But this now is about emotions. We start with physical sensations and then we're gonna move into emotions. So we do our relaxation exercise and then we say, and it could be out loud or just in our head, but we say, I feel. And then what you do is you check in with your body and start with physical sensation. Again, much easier to feel. So right now, if I did this, I feel my eyelids are really heavy. So instead of saying like, I feel tired, instead of saying I feel tired, try and be specific about the physical sensation of your body, because your brain is telling you like you feel tired, but how does it know? So you're kind of digging deeper into your body. So my body tells me I'm tired because my eyelids are really heavy, right? I'm having extra energy to like keep my eyes open. So my eyelids are a little heavy. So I feel like my eyelids are a little heavy. And then you say, you go again, I feel, and you check in again and find something different. I feel some of my stomach muscles are kind of tight. I feel, and sometimes it'll take a while, like you can say that and really like check in. It's not, you don't have to be in a rush, but every time I want you to find something new. And sometimes you're gonna come up, your brain's gonna say, I don't know what I feel nothing. Yeah, you do. We feel a lot of things. The problem is the brain tries to shut it all off. So you can say, thank you, brain, for your unhelpful information, but I am feeling something. So just stick with I feel, and then you'll get a whisper. Sometimes you'll get like a real strong feeling, but sometimes it's just a whisper. Go with it. So I'll do one more. I feel tension in the back, in my lower back. So it's tight, it's a little throbby. So those are physical sensations. So you start there, you do 3, 5, 6 of those, and then you move to emotions. So then it's I feel, and you check in with yourself and name an emotion that you're feeling. And this is a tough one for people because sometimes we say I feel and then we go in and we're like, fine. There's no such emotion as fine. Like underneath the fine, there's a whole pot of emotions brewing. And a lot of times we're not aware of our emotions until one just like pops out of the pot. That's where like I always call like road rage. That person wasn't just that pissed off before, it was just simmering and waiting for one more thing to happen and then it comes out. But it was there all along. And if they were aware of it and could dissipate it, get rid of it, this road rage or these like outbursts wouldn't happen. So the first thing is to start just what is brewing in your pot, and there's a lot of emotions in there. So you just start with first like I feel, and you check in. I feel anxious. I don't know, and the thing is you don't have to justify it. I don't have to say like, why am I feeling anxious? What's going on? Like I don't have to justify it, I just have to name it. Later you can think about it if you want, but right now you're just naming and you're not judging. So if I even said like, I feel jealous or I feel angry, there isn't like, well, you shouldn't be feeling that right now, but like no judgment. It's just naming. There's nothing wrong with emotions. It's what we do with our emotions that maybe we can change, but emotions should be felt. You gotta feel the feels, as Jen Sincero says. But you gotta feel the feels and not judge, right? So you're in charge of how and what you do with those emotions, but not what they are. And there's nothing wrong with any of them. So this is just a way to figure out what it is you are feeling, right? Before they burst out. So again, I feel every time, check in and find a new emotion. So I feel sad, you know? And actually I'm also feeling excited. So, but they can all live in one big pot, all of those emotions. But we have to start to get to know ourselves and what we're feeling physically and emotionally so that we can really live our life on purpose and be in the now. So we're feeling these emotions, we're just not aware of it. But in the now, these emotions are cooking, they're boiling, they're simmering over. The more you're in the now, the more you're in control of what you do with these emotions, how you take care of your body. But you can't do it without the awareness of what all that stuff is. So this will help you be in the now with your body and with your emotions. All right, tip 3. Time for the silly. Using your 5 senses, which, we use all the time, but we're not usually aware of them. So what do I mean? So we all know our 5 senses, right? Touch, taste, hearing, sight, and smell, right? Those are our 5 senses. What we want to do is we really want to pay attention to those, not all at once. It's a little overwhelming, right? But when you're outside or when you're in a room, like really see where you are. So if you're outside, like really see the trees, really see the flowers, really see who's in front of you. Do you know how often, and this, I'm telling you about this about me, like I'm meeting someone new and I'm talking to them and later I walk away and I'm like, I have no idea what color eyes they had, what color hair they had, like I wasn't really seeing them. So we've got to focus on our senses to really take in. So really see people. When you're in a restaurant, I mean, really see your waiter or waitress. Really see the people around you. That puts you in the now, but it also like heightens your experience of what's going on. Smell. For me, like, oh my God, I love smells. I mean, I also hate smells. Like, it's such a strong thing. I either hate it or I love it. So stop. And like, there's a lot of smells that make me happy. Like vanilla and cinnamon and like garlic and olive oil cooking or fresh bread. Oh my gosh. So when those good smells are around, like really stopping for a moment and really taking them in, that heightens my pleasure, right? That heightens my joy, my happiness. Taste. Yeah, so eating yummy food. We all know how wonderful taste is, but how many times a day do we like shove food in our mouth and we're not even really paying attention? There's sometimes like, you know, going from thing to thing and I just shove food in my mouth and then later I'm like, I don't even know what that tasted like. Like, I don't even, like, I barely remember that I ate. So taking the time to like taste your food, enjoying your food, and that's also like feeling it in your mouth and textures and tastes and like all of it, like the enjoyment factor, your happiness factor goes way up when we pay attention to our senses. The same is true for hearing. I mean, a lot of people love music, right? But sometimes we're like listening to music and doing other things and it's like on in the background. So if there's times where you can stop and really listen to music and make it really about hearing the music and the words and how that affects you, it heightens, it puts you in the now and heightens your experience of it. So I really want to encourage you in fun ways to experience all 5 senses. And usually there's like 2 or 3 that are like really like hot for you, meaning they bring you the most joy, right? So figure out what those are. Tell me, let me know, like what do you do to enjoy the 5 senses? So those were 3 tips to put you in the now. I want to heighten your experience so you're really experiencing life. So you don't always have to go watch a scary movie to feel heightened. So try out the relaxation exercise, the I feel exercise, or some of these fun 5 sensory things you can do, and let me know what worked for you.